Hello friends, I welcome all of you on behalf of GTU for this active learning video lecture communication. My name is Sachin Sharma. Currently I am working as an assistant professor at SVVT College Gandhinagar, and I am also pursuing my PhD from GTU. In the last lecture, this is the question paper actually. Of subject name is Elements of Electrical Engineering. Subject code is 11005. This exam was taken in first second or examination summer 2013, right? So in the last lecture we went through question 1 and question 2. We solved question 1 and question 2, and now in this lecture we are going to solve the remaining questions, right? So if you see, the third question is related to magnetic circuits. So if you see question 3a, it is asking state similarities between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. Question B is like explain self-induced EMF and mutual induced EMF. Question 3 is sum actually, a numerical on same theory. So we will directly start solving question 3. Okay, so the third question is state the similarities between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. Before attempting this question, you should see that the marks, it is asked for 4 marks, right? So what are the similarities between, or in the same question can be framed as state the analogies between magnetic circuit and electric circuit. Okay, so magnetic flux phi, which flows, not actually flows, but it sets up through a magnetic circuit, it corresponds to an electric current which flows through an electric circuit. So the one similarity is like the flux and the current. Okay, second is the magnetomotive force, that is MF in the magnetic circuit, it corresponds to an electromotive force V in electric circuit. Third one is the reluctance S of a magnetic conductor by length, area of the X section, and the permeability, it corresponds to resistor R of an electric conductor by length, area of X section, and conductivity. Fourth point is the famous Hopkinson's law, that is related to MMF, that is equal to R phi, it corresponds to famous Ohm's law in electric circuit, that is EMF V equal to IR. We can also define the permeance of a magnetic circuit. You can denote it by P equal to 1 by S, which corresponds to conductance, that is G equal to 1 by R of an electric circuit, right? So we can keep this, or we can put this in a table form, that one side you can keep as magnetic circuit, and same second column you can keep it as electric circuit, and these are the parameters which are similar to each other, right? So flux phi, it is in electric circuit, it is current I. Same thing, magnetomotive force in magnetic circuit, it corresponds to electromotive force in electric circuit. Third parameter, reluctance S in magnetic circuit, it corresponds to resistance R in electric circuit. Permeance P of the magnetic circuit is related to conductance G in the electric circuit, and then final Hopkinson's law, that is F equal to R phi, it corresponds to Ohm's law, that is V equal to Ri. So because the question is asked like for 4 marks, we have to just state the similarities. We don't want to explain actually, but if the same question is asked for 7 marks, we have to explain each and every parameter, right? So this is like question 3a. Okay, now the second question, question 3b, question is as explain self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF, and again the question is asked for 6 marks. So you have to explain both the parameters of both the theories, like self-induced EMF as well as mutually induced EMF. First of all, we will discuss self-induced EMF, and then we will go for mutually induced EMF. So now what is self-induced EMF, right? So consider a coil. If you see, there is a coil, right? It is having N turns. Again there is a voltage source, and current is flowing in the circuit, right? So consider a coil having N turns carrying current I as shown in the figure. Now due to the current flow, flux is going to produce, right, in the coil. That is, flux is again due to the current flow, flux will be produced in the coil, and the unit of flux is Webers. Now this flux produced by the coil links with the coil itself. Okay, so whatever the flux is produced in the coil, it links with itself. Thus the total flux linkage of the coil will be N phi. N is the total number of turns in the coil, and phi is the flux actually that is produced. So total flux linkage will be N phi Weber turns. Unit of turns actually, that unit of N, you say it is turns actually, and Weber, the unit of Weber is flux, right? That flux is Weber. So you can keep this N phi equal to Weber turns. Now if the current flowing through coil changes, the flux produced in the coil is also going to change, and hence the flux linkage also changes. So this is the phenomena actually, right? If the current flowing through the coil changes, the flux produced in the coil also changes, as well as the flux linkage is also going to change. So according to Faraday's law, due to the rate of change of flux linkage, there will be an induced EMF in the coil. This phenomena or this condition is known as self-induction. and the EMF or the voltage induced in the coil due to the change of its own flux linked with it is called self-induced EMF. right? Whenever you are attempting any question, if you see, if you feel that some in a line or in a paragraph something is important, you should better highlight it, right? If you see in this paragraph, I have written the EMF or voltage induced in the coil due to the change of its own flux linked with it is called self-induced EMF. So I have highlighted that self-induced EMF. So better you should do it in the same way. Actually, you should highlight the self-induced EMF. Next parameter or next definition is for mutually induced EMF, right? If the flux produced by one coil links with the other coil placed sufficiently close to the first coil, then due to the change in the flux produced by the first coil, there is an induced EMF in the second coil, right? So if you see in this diagram, figure C, there are like two coils, right? In the first coil there is a voltage source applied, so current I1 is flowing. Again in the second coil, that is given as the name as L2, again voltage source V2 is there and current I2 is going to flow, right? So flux linkage with in coil 1 is phi 1 and in second it is phi 2. So like consider two coils placed very close to each other as shown in the figure. Let coil 1 has N1 turns and coil 2 has N2 turns. The current flowing through coil 1 is I1. Due to this current, actually flux produced in coil I1 is phi 1. Part of this flux, actually some part of this flux is going to link with coil 2. This is known as mutual flux. Again it is denoted normally as phi 2 1, right? When current through coil 1 changes, the flux produced in the coil 1 changes. Thus, flux associated with coil 2, it is also going to change. So, according to Faraday's law, there will be an induced EMF in coil 2. This phenomenon is called mutual induction and the EMF induced is known as mutually induced EMF. Right. So, what is happening is, because of phi 1 and some part of this flux is also getting linked with coil 2, that flux is denoted by phi 2 1. So when the current through coil 1 is going to change, flux produced in the coil 1 changes, and thus the flux associated, part of this flux associated with coil 2 is also going to change. So according to Faraday's law, there will be an induced EMF in coil 2. So this EMF which is induced in the coil 2, it is known as mutual induced EMF, and this phenomenon is known as mutual induction. So if there is only one coil, right, like this, and because of this voltage as well as current flow, there is an flux produced in the coil, and if the current flowing through the coil changes, there is flux linkages will be there, as well as the flux is going to change. And if the flux produced links with the coil itself, that phenomenon is known as self-induced EMF, right? And if we have like two coils, and because of first coil, that flux is changing, right? And that some part of that flux it links with second coil. So that phenomenon is known as mutually induced EMF. So in mutually induced EMF, we'll be having two coils, whereas in self-induced EMF we'll be having only one coil. So because question is asked for like 6 marks, you can divide. You can think of like self-induced EMF will be of something like 2 or 2.5 marks, and mutually induced EMF will be again of 3.5 or like 3 marks, right? So in this way you should proceed for any question. Okay. Next is the question 3C. It is actually a numerical which states like we should first like read it. An iron ring has a mean diameter of 57.3 centimeter. Okay, it carries a coil having 450 turns. So N is given, total number of turns is given. Again the current flowing through the coil is 2 amperes. So current flowing through the coil is also given. Then relative permeability of the iron is 1200. So relative permeability of the iron core it is given as like 1200. What we have to find is, we have to calculate the flux density produced in the coil, right? Okay, we will solve this question. First of all, you should write given data. Right. So what is given to us as turns, total number of turns. That is given to us as 450 turns, right? So N is given to us as 450. Okay, then what we are given with current flowing through the coil. It is I. It is given to us as 2 amperes, right? Okay, then it is the iron ring has mean diameter of 57.3 centimeter. Okay, so mean diameter that is given to us as 57.3 centimeter, or in meter it will be divided by 100, right? So it will be 0.573 meter, right? Next, what we are given with, we have been given in the question relative permeability of the iron is given, right? So relative permeability mu r, it is given to us as 1200, right? So first of all, you should write whatever the data is given in the question, right? Okay. Now if you see, we are like one question is there that relates magnetomotive force, that is MMF. It is given as Ni. Magnetomotive force, that is it is the force that tends to establish flux in the magnetic circuit, right? Ni, already N is given to us, that is 450 into I is also given to us as 2 amperes, so total it will be 900 ampere turns, right? You can ampere turns because unit of current is amperes, and normally N, that is we give it that dimension as in turns, right? So ampere turns. Okay, next, mean diameter. Again, if you see mean length, there is an equation for mean length of iron ring, that is equal to 2 pi r, mean length of the iron ring. Okay, I can write directly as, because diameter is like 2r, we can write as pi d, right? Already diameter, it is given to iron diameter, mean diameter of the iron ring, that is given to us as 57.3, or we calculated in converted that centimeter into meter, that was 0.573. So we will get 0.573 into pi, right? Okay. Now there is one more equation which relates magnetizing force. It is denoted by H, it is given by Ni by L, right? Ni we have already calculated, that is 900, and L, that is mean length of the iron ring, that is we calculated, that was 0.573 pi. Unit is ampere turns, right, per meter, right? Now what we have to calculate is, we have to calculate the flux density produced. Flux density that is denoted by B. Again the equation for is mu 0 mu r H, right? Now what is mu 0? Already we have the value of mu 0, 4 pi into 10 raised to minus 7, that is mu 0. Mu r, again it is given in the question to us as 1200, right? And H we have calculated just before, 900 divided by 0.573 pi. So this is the final equation, right? So we have to calculate the flux density B, right? It is easy, pi will get cancelled from here, right? Then finally with the help of calculator you can calculate this question. Okay, so 4 into 1200 into 900, that is 432 into 10 raised to 4, right, upon 0.573. Okay, divide by 0.573, so we'll get 7539267, right? Okay, and again if you see 10 raised to 4 into 10 raised to minus 7 will be 10 raised to minus 3. So again the entire answer you have to divide it by 10 raised to 3. So you'll get 7 5 3 9.26, right, Weber per meter. The unit of flux density, that is Weber per meter, right. So final answer will be 7539.26. So in this way, first of all you should like write the data, what are the data it is given in the question. Then you should recognize, or you should be familiar with the equations. So first what we did in this question, actually we wrote the data what was given to us. Then we were having that equation of magnetomotive force, that is ampere turns, Ni. We calculated magnetomotive force. Then mean length of the iron ring, that equation is like 2 pi r. So from we calculated the mean length of the iron ring, and then we are having the equation of magnetizing force, which relates the ampere turns and length, that is denoted by H, that is equal to Ni by L. So we have kept the value of NiL in this equation and divide by mean length of the iron ring, that we calculated 0.573 pi. So finally the flux density B, that is related to magnetizing force H, that is equal to mu 0 mu r H. So putting all these values in this equation, finally you can calculate the value of B, that is asked in the question, right. Okay. So we'll proceed to our next question. Okay, next question is question 4. Again if you see, it is like a definition only. 3 definitions are there in this and 3 marks are there, right. So each definition carries 1 mark. First definition is the frequency, second is the average value, and third one is the power factor. Okay, now what do you mean by frequency? Okay, so for an oscillating or varying current, frequency is basically the number of complete cycles per second in alternating current direction. If you see the standard unit of frequency, that is normally measured, that is in hertz, actually abbreviated as Hz, right. If a current completes 1 cycle per second, then the frequency is 1 hertz. So 60 cycles per second equals to 60 hertz. So right, if you see in our like Indian, if you see that AC